Well, and more Trump news. He has some new supporters that popped out over the weekend. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Ball.
Who's Le'Veon Ball?
Okay, give me a second. Le'Veon Bell. Now, Antonio Brown, I think, wasn't as controversial because it's Antonio Brown and he does the things all the time, right? Like seeing him pop out with Trump and, he's been up under Kanye. To me, I wasn't surprised to see it, right? It was a little bit expected. Le'Veon Bell, though, he wore a T-shirt while at one of the rallies, backstage at one of the rallies, that got people pretty pissed off. The T-shirt said Trump of the Tramp 2024, and it had Kamala on there, Trump on the T-shirt as well too. So people were pissed off about this shirt, saying like, you can choose who to vote for and support whoever you want to support, but now the insults going a black woman's way are getting a bit out of hand here. But there was
that didn't surprise me either, though, because I lived through a Hillary Clinton presidential campaign. So, sexism is going to be a part of it when a woman runs.
And he's a former Pittsburgh Steelers player, and now he's boxing, right? He's boxing now, right? And he wore that shirt. For people that don't know who Le'Veon Bell is.
People who know him.
Just in case.
Another supporter, though, who some people may not know her. I feel like a lot of people know her, especially online. Newly supporter, but then decided to step away from it, was Alexis Skyy. So if you do not know who Alexis Skyy is, she was formerly Love and Hip Hop. She's big on social media. She at one point was known as the mother of a child with Fetty Wap, but then it came to find out that it was not Fetty Wap's daughter, but her daughter. She is a mom of a disabled daughter, Aaliyah Grace. So over the weekend, there was an interview that came out with Alexis Skyy. She was on Kiss 104.1, and she talked about her support for Trump and why she was supporting Trump. Let's take a listen.
I'm voting for Trump.
Let's talk about
voting for Trump.
What's the energy behind it? What's the thought process behind it?
I just feel like when Trump was around, I just feel like things were different. People have their opinion on him. I do think that Trump could be a little extra, but he gets the job done. All my friends is voting for Trump. I feel like the younger generation, Trump has a lock. It was more money flowing for us. So get up and go vote, because it's super important. If you want Trump to win, go vote for him. If you want the other one to win, then go vote for her. It was Kamala. I don't know how to say her name. I didn't want to say
Kamala. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Camilla. Is Kamala or Kamala? Kamala.
Knowing old white men's names, but not knowing women of color names when you're a woman of color don't sit right with me.
I'm still surprised people can't pronounce a name, which is the craziest thing ever. Because you see it so much.
They just do it as a sign.
I feel like that was definitely a troll by Alexis. Now, what was even worse was when that interview went out. Speaking of trolls, baby, she was dragged. The biggest thing that most people were echoing is you're getting out here, you're telling people to vote. Whoever you decide to vote for is your business. But when you got on this platform and wanted to lead people to sway them one way, there should have been a little bit more research done, because you are a mother of a child with disabilities, and Trump is actively on this campaign trail talking about what he wants to do when it talks about defunding the Department of Education, which would affect, if it goes into place, it definitely could affect the way that funding for kids who are learning with disabilities and low income kids, how that happens. So people are like, well, I'm kind of confused. How do you, as a mom of a daughter with disabilities, even side with the person, who would even be taking resources away from your child? So after all that dragging started, Alexis Skyy posted a statement, said the interview I did regarding voting was done prior to Trump's statement on the Department of Education. Initially, I wanted to vote for Trump for my own personal reasons. After familiarizing myself with both candidates, I will no longer be voting for him. And then she put November 4th. And so basically what she's saying is, after he sat with, I think it was Fox and Friends, and talked about the Department of Education and what he wants to do there, she backed away. But he's been going back and forth about this Department of Education, taking money away from them and restructuring that for a very long time now, since like August, September.
Yeah, and that lets me know she doesn't know much about Trump if that's the statement that made her back away. Like, listen, vote for whoever you want to vote for. Just make sure you are making an informed decision and be willing to deal with the consequences of said decision. But I'm telling you right now, most people who tell me they're voting for Trump, either A, not informed on Trump like they believe they are, or B, just simply don't care and they agree with him and his authoritarian rhetoric.
And I'm not mad at anybody for choosing to do whatever they want to do, but I do think, like, when you get out there on a public platform, you leave yourself open for people to have questions. Absolutely. And I think you should keep it to yourself if your answers to those questions aren't going to make sense. That's the best thing what you said.
I think it's going to have to get to the point where people keep it to themselves, right? You hear both sides, and then you vote for what you want to vote for. Like, where people saying what they feel, because people are basing how they look at people based off who you're voting for. Right? And I don't think that's right. You should be able to vote for whoever you want to vote for.
Yeah, well, in most cases. But now when it comes to somebody like Trump, like I said, either if you're voting for Trump, you're either A, not informed on Trump like you believe you are, or B, just simply don't care and you agree with his authoritarian rhetoric. Like there's no other way around it. There's no other way. And when you say, more money was flowing, they talking about those stimulus checks and PPP loans, but everybody forgets that it was a whole pandemic. Millions of people had to die from COVID for those checks to be kicked out. He didn't just give y'all money.
And can I also say during that same pandemic, because she's in Atlanta, so I know in Atlanta, some people in Atlanta, it's like they
Atlanta was crazy.
Right, they only felt the money because they outside, they having a good time, whatever,
Atlanta
right?
Never closed.
And I get it. I know she was in Atlanta. She's back and forth. Sometimes I think don't quote me on Miami, but I think I know her to be there a little bit too. During the pandemic too, Trump also threatened to take away money from school. If it tried to take away money from schools that wouldn't reopen by a certain time because they were worried about children's health. And it's like, you are a mom, you got a kid.
You said something though. You said how Atlanta felt, right? And that's true. People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Okay, and when them stimulus checks and them PPP loans was in the street, people was
Atlanta was going up. The men hookah was
the only city. It was the only city
in Florida. What you talking about?
Florida, and then Houston opened up, and then Texas opened up. Those 3 cities.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Biden gave out a stimulus check too, but he didn't put his name on the check, so that was stupid.
Man, these white boys was having a time in Atlanta.
That marketing, the way people felt, and that marketing worked. And that's what she's referencing when she says the money was flowing.
I'm only thinking about the class size Zool bottle, the people hitting the bells. That was such a big thing during the pandemic. Yeah.
Is everything turned to alcohol with you?
Yes, she's an alcoholic.
I'm just thinking about all the stuff that was happening in Atlanta during that time.
Drink.
People lost lives though, so to be serious about it. But there was a lot of fun being had down in Atlanta. Excuse me?
You're an alcoholic.
Don't know what you're talking about. Can't confirm or deny.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's Jess with the Mess with Lauren LaRosa. Now, donkey today. Who you giving that donkey to?
Man, 4 after the hour, man. We need this Wisconsin police officer who was working as a substitute teacher. We need him to come to the front of the congregation. We need to put some holy hands on him this morning.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
All right. We'll get to that next. And then Marlon Wayans will be joining us. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.